So sometimes it's not what's in the bush, but it's what's in your hand that matters. Hey y'all, Jules here and Johnny. Welcome to another coffee talk without our coffee. We forgot to make coffee.
We did?
We forgot to make coffee for our coffee talk. Yep.
You believe that?
I can't believe that. Got our coffee for our coffee talk. So we had to go back and make coffee because you can't have a coffee talk without coffee.
That's right. And then I can't believe
What does yours
it.
say?
It says, enjoy yourself.
That's what we need to do, ain't it? We've been rushing around today.
Right. We've been
We've got a lot to do.
rushing around.
Yeah,
I
because
got
tomorrow.
to go sit in the tire shop this morning on a Saturday morning, waiting for about an hour to fix a lawnmower tire that they didn't even get started on.
So the grass will continue to look wonky for a few more days.
Right.
Yeah. So it's always a good time to learn a new skill.
Especially nowadays in time, right?
Especially now day and time. Think back 2 years ago, 2020. Where were you in March of 2020? I know where we were. We were on our way back from Florida in a bus, and we didn't have any toilet paper. I think we were almost out of toilet paper.
Oh, wow.
And we stopped at a Dollar General on the way back from Florida because we were like, we were hearing all these things on Facebook and everywhere that there was no toilet paper. So we stopped at a Dollar General in the bus, and we bought a pack of toilet paper. We were caught pretty off guard in 2020. We were not prepared. We were not, because we were in an RV and we were traveling full time. And I can guarantee you there were a lot of you that were just living your life, never thinking that something could come along and there would be food shortages. There would be, and it wasn't like everything disappeared, but individual things disappeared in that time. But anyway, we do not want a repeat of that. So since then, of course, we moved into a house. We sold our RV. Not that we won't do that again, but you know, we'll always have being
we're
prepared.
getting another RV eventually.
Yeah. And we'll always have in the back of our minds being prepared, though, always. So with the talk of food shortages and rising food prices,
it's good to be prepared.
It's
right?
really good to be prepared. One of the ways that we can be prepared is to be a lifetime learner, which I'm going to be doing anyways, right? Because I'm always learning. One of the major new skills that I'm learning is learning how to garden. Now, you've always been the one with the green thumb. Back when our kids were little, you would be out there planting your roses. Now, we didn't plant vegetables so much, but you were into roses and things like that.
I didn't study them like I needed to, and I was really beginning even then. So.
Yeah. So one of the things that I want to try to keep in my mind is that I want to be prepared, but we don't need to live in fear.
Right.
I think there are a lot of people out there, including us right now, that are being led to learn new skills in order to be better prepared in case something were to happen, something unpredictable, something unexpected in the future. So another thing that we're learning and we're aiming to learn more of is to further our kitchen skills, which, to be honest, I've never really had a lot of kitchen skills, just regular, you know, cooking just the regular things for my kids, like what? Hamburger helper, spaghetti.
No, don't let her fool you. She's a good cook. She just don't really do a whole lot of it.
I just haven't been busy. Spent a lot of years homeschooling the kids. We were home, and actually when we were home, we did learn how to make bread. Back when the boys were younger, we learned how to make bread, and back then we had, I guess, kefir, I think it's kefir grains that we had, and we would make our own kombucha, things like that. So we've kind of gonna have to tap back into some of those things, I think, and expand our kitchen skills so that when we do have a harvest or when the Lord does provide an excess of food, we have something to do with it. We're able to preserve it and it doesn't go bad.
We did get the dehydrator.
Do you want to show them the dehydrator?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, here's the dehydrator.
Yeah.
We got her figs.
And they look green. They were actually all the right
some of them
color. They're not green. Because what happens was they were all the right color.
Right.
When I blanched them, it broke down the skin and turned them green.
Right?
Yeah.
And so those are good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, very. After they're blanched,
Matter of fact,
they're extreme.
I'm going to try one.
Right here, right now. Mm-hmm. Should split one open. Let me show.
Very good.
Let's find one that's okay. So, and another cool thing is they make a heart. If you split them open right, that is. See, it's like a little. But aren't they beautiful? Beautiful on the inside. Look at that. So, anyway.
That's right.
We'll eat one more.
Been on a diet, but here goes nothing.
No, right. Another thing in the kitchen that I'm throwing the idea around about learning is canning. That seems like a simple thing to a lot of you guys probably, but I have never canned. I've never learned that skill, but that's something that I probably will learn to do to a certain extent. I don't, like I said before, I don't really want to eat a lot out of season, but I do want to be prepared. Having some things and having that skill, even if you don't can a whole lot, having the skill to can is important
That's
as well.
right.
Yes. So another thing is fermenting. Now I have tried my hand at that years ago. We fermented pickles, if you remember, and we made our own kimchi and our own sauerkraut, stuff like that. So I want to try to re-hone in on those skills.
See there, I said don't let her fool you.
Mm-hmm.
She's been good at that in the past.
You're sweet.
Yeah, I try.
Another thing that we can do to be prepared and to up our skill level is to learn how to home make some things that you would normally be dependent on the store for. So like detergent. I used to make my own detergent, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So detergents, soaps, let's see, what else would there be that you would home make?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. That's something we make, and I can do a video on that sometime, but we use vodka. We use 190 proof vodka.
And essential oils.
That's another thing. Let me show them this. Essential oil, this is the one we use on guard in our hand sanitizer along with aloe vera gel and water. It's a really simple thing. We throughout the whole 2020 thing, if you know what I mean, we made our own sanitizer when there was no sanitizer to be found.
That's right.
So it's a very good skill to be able to make your own things, and you can also use these oils for medicinal things, which has been valuable to our family to have the essential oils for medicinal things, because then we don't have to run to the doctor every time there's a little thing wrong, a earache or a common cold, or just maybe a skin issue or anything like that. There's essential oils that we can use for that. We use them for healthcare. We have used them. We do that before we go running to get a prescription. Now, sometimes there are cases where you need to go to a doctor to get a diagnosis, and then once we get the diagnosis, we figure out how to help and help that issue naturally. So another thing that we can do to be prepared is to seek out and search for local farms. So in local farmers, friend and become familiar with your local farmer, so that you may not have enough space to grow out a cow and have your own beef. But if you friend a local farmer, then you've got a resource.
Right.
The grocery store might be completely out of beef, but that local farmer, they're probably going to have some beef. So the last thing we're going to talk about as far as being prepared, and this is one that we are currently working on, and that's being wiser with your money. That is learning how to handle money, learning how to be frugal with money, and getting out of debt. It is so easy in the culture today to get a credit card, to charge up everything, to, buy an expensive truck, to do all the things, right, that cause you to be in debt. But the Bible says that the borrower is servant to the lender, and we definitely do not want to be servants.
That's right.
We want to be free. We want to be able to be out of debt, so that when things come along, when crisis comes along, you can, you will not be already bound and then have all these issues come up, and you don't have the freedom that you need to be able to function. One of the things that we've listened to Dave Ramsey quite a bit, and he talks about getting out of debt, of course, and he talks about the emergency fund. So I think that's something important to have, not just in money, but like for us to store up things that could be traded if we needed to. Like, I'm going to tell you one of the biggest things that will be able to be traded if anything ever comes. Can you guess what that is?
Livestock.
Alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Alcohol.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So if you, not that we would drink it or be like, drinking bunches of alcohol, but like for making sanitizer and for, medicinal purposes, and even just to trade and barter. So it's just a good idea to kind of think a little bit ahead. Now, we're not supposed to be so dead set on our plans that our plans can't change. We have to be able to be flexible with what's coming. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
She's a good
makes
girl.
sense.
She's a good girl. To wrap this up, one of the best ways that we can be prepared is to learn the skills that we need to be able to be sustainable, so that you're not dependent on the grocery store, you're not dependent on all of the major grocery stores and what they price their meat and what they price their veggies at, and you're not dependent on the food supply chain.
Right.
So you're able to take care of yourself when the world is going chaotic and say the prices are crazy high. You know how to take care of yourself. And you're able to, and I think that's something, honestly, that the Lord is leading a lot of people to do, even if it's in small things. So you don't have to go out and buy, 100 acres and have cows and everything like that, but you can do the little things. You can have a small flock of chickens. You can raise those. You could learn how to do meat chickens. You can learn how to grow a garden so that you can have the things you need so that you're not dependent. And then you can, of course, learn how to preserve food like we are with the figs.
Right.
So we're learning how to keep food so that, it doesn't all go bad. Even though if it were to start going bad, we just feed it to the chickens and they'll make us eggs, and there
Right.
you go.
So if you can't go out and have a great big farm or have a bunch of land, you just got just a little bitty bit, be like Alan Jackson in that song. It's all right to be a little bitty in a little old house in a big old city.
Yep.
Or a big old city.
So you be a good steward of what you already have in your hand. So sometimes it's not what's in the bush, but it's what's in your hand that matters. So thank you guys for watching.
Right. It's time to wrap this one up.
Yep. And if you're still breathing,
There he is, still hope.
yes, we will see you next time.